Hey everyone, this is Yami, your Latina next door. Welcome back to my channel. In this episode of our home renovation update, we're tackling the yard. So this is pretty much our backyard. We own 2.5 acres of land in northern Georgia, and we absolutely love having all this space. However, the previous owners who lived here for about 20 years or so let the land go a little bit wild and overgrow. Now this footage that you see here was taken early this spring. As you can see, we have 2.5 acres, but we don't have that much of a yard, and a lot of these trees were dangerously close to our house. And to give you a little bit of perspective, here is how tall some of those trees were. Now, isn't that view amazing? Now, these trees are just as dangerous as they are beautiful, and we were especially concerned because some of these trees were previously infested by pine beetles. And if you live in Georgia, you know that some of these trees like to fall. Like this one right here that's really close to the house and can actually scale all the way across the entire roof. Or this one right here that is completely dead and leaning toward our house. So going into this, we knew we were going to have to cut down some trees in order to make more space and give us a little bit more peace of mind. We knew this would take time and a lot of money because tree cutting services are very expensive. So to start off, we did what every homeowner would do and take matters into our own hands, or the Latino engineers and my father's hands, because they decided to take down a lot of the brush that was just overgrown in front of the house. You should be able to see the house from where I'm standing, but there's so much brush that you can't. And I don't know about you, but I like to be able to see my house from the road and the road from my house. So the first thing we did was hire a company that had a forestry mulcher. Oh, and the drama that unfolded with this. I'll tell you guys in just a sec. But basically what this machine does is that it cuts the trees in half, and then it actually takes that mulcher that it has right there, as you see, and it literally mulches the entire tree down, branches and all the way down to the stump, and it even disintegrates the stump. So instead of cutting them into long, large logs, this machine actually obliterates the tree entirely and creates mulch out of the tree, the leaves, the branches, and everything you see, pretty much leaving no trace that it ever existed. We love this idea and we couldn't wait to get started. So the guy gave us a reasonable quote and we hired him in order to take down the trees. According to them, they were supposed to be able to do this all in a couple of days. Sounded too good to be true. So they started the work and began working on the front right section of the yard and worked their way back to the backyard. That was after pushing our start date back several times, not calling us to reschedule, and then showing up 4 hours late the day they did arrive to do the work. And then they left for the day and left the forestry mulcher at our house for almost a week. Finally, when they showed up, they took their equipment and left, and we never heard from them again. They never asked to come back. They never called for anything. They never even apologized. Nothing. They just up and left. So then we had to actually get another company to come out and finish doing some of the work. Of course, there was no other forestry mulcher business around that we could hire, so we had to actually take on a tree removal services that actually cut them down. And this service would actually be much more expensive, but as you can see that dead tree right there, it just had to be done. I will say this new company that we hired, they were so professional, prompt, really quick in doing their job. It was amazing to see how these guys tackled taking these enormous trees down. These guys took over 30 trees down, and we're not even halfway done with our yard. Just goes to show you how many trees we have. Oh, and remember this tree?
Holy cow.
And once they were done taking those very crucial trees in the backyard, they came to the front and began taking down the extra trees that we had that were just way too large and really close to the power lines in the front of our yard. All these trees were cut down into logs and all of the branches were removed. They're in our backyard right now until we find someone who can haul them away at an affordable price. And then we're most likely gonna get rid of all the brush ourselves, either getting our own wood chipper or renting one per se, or just burning it in the back. Now remember what this little area looked like. You couldn't even see the house from here. Now this is what the space looks like now. You have a clear view of the house. I'm guessing you can sense my excitement right about now. This is a game changer. This opens up that entire side of the yard that was unusable before. And I have huge plans for this. So here's a shot of this before. This was one of the images that was used for the listing of the house. And this is what that same area looks like now. Now what I hope to eventually do is actually create a raised garden area right there where you see on the screen. This area gets so much sunlight now and it's the perfect spot for a vegetable garden. Now here is one of the images used from the listing as well. This was the view from the road, and this was the only angle you can get of the house from the actual road because everything was so overgrown. Now you're able to see the house from the opposite side of the road, is something that you could not see before. Now that hill that you see in front of the house right there, we're hoping that we can get a bobcat and maybe level that a little bit more so that you can see the house a little bit better from the road. It's absolutely unnecessary to have that mound right there. I'm not sure why it was done in the first place, but it would be nice to see it a little bit more level. And then we can install a nice white fence. I think these are absolutely adorable and I've always dreamed of having a white fence. And then hopefully get a really nice gate like this for the front entrance of our driveway. Of course, this is me hoping and dreaming because this may happen in a few years or it might not happen. I don't know, but I always love to envision things like this and put it together so that I can see what the potential is of this space. And while I'm over here hoping and dreaming, the Latino engineer is fast at work with other plans. Soon after the trees were taken down, it was off to the next plan. The Latino engineer wanted to make sure the kids had a fun place to hang out while we do all these renovations, so it was time to install a pool. We opted for an above ground pool. We've had one before, so we knew what to expect and it saved us a lot of time and money. And this one is 30 feet in diameter, which is one of the largest ones you can get. We actually built our previous above ground pool, and knowing the amount of work that it took, we decided to hire somebody to do it for us, and we were so happy we did. After it was all set up, we filled it with water. And it took us about 5 days to fill this pool up. And then it was off to Home Depot to get a ton of salt. We opted for saltwater system since we knew the kids were going to be in the pool a lot this summer, and it won't be as harsh on their hair and skin.
720 pounds of salt.
Even after the installation of the pool, there is still so much left to be done. Sorry if it's bumpy, the terrain is serious.
So this is coming off our back porch.
We have a big, if you haven't seen it before, it's a big cement patio with a nice knee wall that goes all the way around it. It's a beautiful little area. And so you come down these steps and
into a hole. And
into the ocean.
So what the LE is going to do is dig this out a little bit. You can kind of see where I started digging right here before it started raining pretty bad. And I'm going to dig this up and out and build a retaining wall to hold the dirt away from the pool. That way, you know, it doesn't erode. We already have the big knee wall behind, but this is more of a small retaining wall. That way there isn't anything that will be leaning, or no dirt will actually lay onto the pool and possibly sit there and corrode it.
And eventually it should stay dry like this right here. He just still has to slope that so that the water can run off that end over here. And he'll do the same thing on this side.
Right, so I'm going to do a gradual grade. So this side right here that's towards the middle of the pool, if you can see, this side will be higher, and I'll grade it at a slight grade going that way, so when it does rain, it'll wash out that way. And then once that is up, I will be building a deck behind it, so that way when you come down the stairs, you're actually stepping onto a deck that wraps around halfway around the pool. You know, it's kind of a party central, you know, party, pool, party in the pool, party outside the pool. And then maybe something really cool on that side.
We're going to have the deck connect from that point over there all the way to this end of this wall, and then out to half of the pool, and then the same thing on the other side. So here's an aerial view of what we're talking about. The gray area you see in front of you is what the deck eventually will be. This will double our outdoor living area and apparently be the site for those raging parties the Latino engineer is talking about. So yeah, that is the current status of the yard progress of our home. And while we've done a lot, there is still so much left to do. The next area that we're going to remove trees from is that area to the left of the driveway that you see right there. We were not able to do a lot of tree removal there, but eventually we'll call them back and get that done. And for those of you wondering, yes, we do plan on adding trees once the major trees have been removed, but they will be more of flowering trees and fruit-bearing trees. Thank you so much to everyone who has been following on our journey. Some of this work that was done would not have been possible had it not been for your support, so we definitely appreciate it. We hope you stick around for the rest. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so that you can follow us on our renovation. And I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, adios.